His Royal Highness Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa gave great support to the energy sector, and the intuition is to ensure that the Kingdom of Bahrain's rich history of social and technological breakthroughs is sustained long into the future by protecting our natural resources and fully taking advantage of modern energy technologies to sustain and improve the high standard of living our beloved citizens are accustomed to. For more on this regard, we are joined by the President of the Sustainable Energy Authority, the SEA, Dr. Abdulhassan bin Ali Mirza. Welcome to the show again, Dr. Mirza.
Good morning, Sarah. Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you for being with us. Doctor, what can you tell us about His Royal Highness, the late Prime Minister's attributes?
First, I like to start by offering my heartfelt condolences to His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and to His Highness Sheikh Ali bin Khalifa Al Khalifa and His Highness Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, the royal family and all the people of Bahrain on the sad demise of the Prime Minister, His Royal Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa. May God rest his soul in eternal peace. I am one of the people who had the honor and privilege to work closely with His Royal Highness for many years, and therefore witnessed firsthand what a great, inspirational and wise leader he was. His Royal Highness was the symbol of Bahrain, both its past and its present. Yes. He is the one who laid the foundation of its renaissance. We are all reaping the fruits of his strenuous efforts and devotion over the last 50 years to create prosperity, progress, and growth for the people of the Kingdom of Bahrain. During this period, His Royal Highness touched the lives of all citizens and residents of Bahrain. He loved his country, Bahrain, dearly and loved its people. In return, all the people of Bahrain loved him dearly, and this is clearly demonstrated by the overwhelming grief, sadness, and emotional messages of condolences all over Bahrain these days. His Royal Highness was known for his wisdom in weighing very carefully all aspects of any situation before passing judgment. That is why his decisions were always wise and proven to be the right ones and in the interest of the Kingdom of Bahrain and its citizens.
Yes. Dr. Abdulhassan, one thing that is very known about His Royal Highness, the late Prime Minister, is the way he had a bird-eyed view about the future of Bahrain and what he wanted it to be. So what support has he provided to the kingdom's industrial march in general, and in particular to the energy and electricity and water and sustainable energy sectors?
Well, His Royal Highness is considered the pillar and architect of the industrial march in Bahrain, and particularly in the energy, electricity, water, and sustainable energy sectors. Yeah. He had the foresight to diversify the economy before any other Gulf state. For example, after developing the energy sector in Bahrain through his position as chairman of the Supreme Oil Council, he formed a task force in 1967 made up of BAPCO, Caltex, and government, represented by Mr. Hugh Story from BAPCO and Caltex, and the late Yusuf Shirawi from government, to study the various possibilities of diversification. When I say diversification, because Bahrain was relying solely on the revenue from oil. Yes. So this task force came up, studied 200 possibilities of various industries and businesses that Bahrain can go into because it has a niche in them. Out of the 200 possibilities, they shortlisted 36. all these provided thousands of job opportunities for citizens of Bahrain and ushered in a new era of prosperity for Bahrain. For example, as a result of that study, Alba, the aluminium smelter Alba, was formed in the early 70s. GPIC was formed in 1979. Banagas was formed in 1979. Iron and steel and Foulad was formed in the 70s. And many other sectors. And one of the sectors they highlighted that Bahrain can have a niche in was making a Bahrain a financial sector, which it is today. So all this was really through his foresight and wisdom that we need to diversify, and this was way back.
Doctor, when it comes to the follow-up of programs and projects, His Royal Highness was also very known to follow up on all of the projects that are dedicated to the Bahraini citizens. Can you tell us about his eagerness to follow up on those?
Well, of course, he used to, in every cabinet meeting that we used to attend, he used to ask specifically about the projects. For example, in the refinery in the sort of early 70s and 80s, and then when I became a Minister of Energy, he used to ask me about all the projects that are going in the refinery, and he used to welcome to come and inaugurate the major projects. So we did lots of modernization in his days in the refinery. In the electricity and water sector, of course, he was, when he was only 22, his father, the late Sheikh Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, appointed him in the first board of electricity in Bahrain in 1957. And through that, he planned for the development of the electricity and water sector together with his brother, then the late Sheikh Isa, the ruler.
Yes.
They opened many power stations like the Jufair power station, the Sitra power station, the Rafah power station, the Het power station, and Al Azal. And then in April 2012, His Majesty the King, together with His Highness, opened the sort of Adur 1 power station, which was one of the largest ones.
Yes.
So he used to follow up with us in every aspect.
Yes,
And as far as Sustainable Energy Authority is concerned, and sustainable energy through his connections and relations with the United Nations, and his keenness to pursue the sustainable energy goals of the United Nations, one of which is goal number 7, which is to provide clean, affordable energy for all. And that's why when we submitted a proposal for forming a Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency in December 2013, he was the chairman of the cabinet and he approved it. And that's the start. Then in April 2019, he upgraded that to a Center for Sustainable Energy. Then His Majesty decreed in October 2019 that it should be further upgraded to an authority.
Yeah.
So all this support which we got from His Highness had made us always prepare report for him.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Hussein Mirza, for being with us and talking to us and just enlightening us on some of the history that His Royal Highness, the late Prime Minister, has left for Bahrain.